Off of Newton's first law of inertia, meaning an object in motion will remain in motion unless acted upon by a force, or an object at rest will stay at rest unless acted upon by a force. I'll be demonstrating the second part of that statement right now. As you can see, Ellie didn't move unless the force was applied upon her. We're going to be putting this Texans helmet where the entire franchise belongs, in the garbage. But as you can see, while the object was in motion, its motion was completely stopped when another force acted upon it. Giving the final example of Newton's first law of inertia, as you can see, the bike is completely stagnant when nothing is touching it. But as soon as a force acts upon it, it moves. Moving on to Newton's second law of mass times acceleration, meaning greater mass results in less acceleration and greater force results in more acceleration. We'll be demonstrating that with these weights. As you can see, the 15-pound plate moved about a yard, and the 30 will move much less due to its greater amount of mass. For example of Newton's second law, using these same weights, but a different demonstration. As you can see, the 15 pushes up relatively easy because it requires less force. 30, on the other hand, requires much more force just to come up. Giving another example of Newton's second law, we'll be doing push-ups. As you can see, first push-up, relatively easy. With a certain force required, the acceleration was extremely high. Now, the second push-up, though, is gonna be a lot more difficult. Okay, get off. Required much more force and resulted in much less acceleration. Now we're on to Newton's third law, meaning every force has an equal and opposite reaction. And for this demonstration, we're going to be using ladders. Probably not the ladders you were thinking of, but it's what we're going to be using nonetheless. As you can see, with every step I took, force not only impacted the ground, but there was gravity pulling me towards the ground. Now for the second example of Newton's third law, we're gonna be using an actual ladder. As you may be able to see, the ladder is in fact holding me up, meaning the ladder is actually supporting the force of gravity pushed upon me, meaning it's giving another force, opposing gravity. And for the final example of Newton's third law, we're going to be using our bench, but probably not the way you may be thinking. As you can see, the force of gravity was overpowered by the force of my jump, allowing me to jump on the bench. But the bench also supported the force of gravity, which means it was using another force.